ShinRobjira.
Today we will be talking about the Bandai Hyper Series Godzilla 1998 Not Zilla Shut Up. Welcome to my three-part miniseries where I will be taking a look at 3 Godzilla 1998 Bandai made figures. Let's get started. Ha! Yeah, I guess I gotta go over this since this is kind of important to the figure's existence. The Hyper Series from Bandai actually came in pieces. They are put together figures that you would get in the candy aisle, I imagine. I do believe that these were graded as candy figures, and they're pretty basic to put together. I mean, it's all really self-explanatory. The dorsal fins that might have actually been the most, quote-unquote, complicated thing of this little set. But, yeah, arms go on areas where the arms would be, legs go in the areas where legs would be, and of course you're going to plug the tail right into Godzilla's butt, like so. The Hyper Series consisted of a certain amount of waves of these things. I don't know how many were made, I really couldn't get a number on it, but from what I found, it looks like maybe 2 to 3. And then there was something else called the Super Hyper Series. I really can't get any concrete words on that, so if anybody knows, please let me know. But basically, I believe they started production in 1998, hence why Godzilla 1998 is here. And just so I cover this now, every figure I am talking about in this miniseries was produced in 1998. So no, none of these are technically Zilla, so shut up. Now, quite obviously, this figure is not really painted, minus the eyes, and a lot of them were like that, and some of them were different. Some of them actually featured paint. But this being Godzilla 1998, I'm kind of not surprised that it's unpainted. The detail, though, as we will see later, is extremely crisp, and for a figure that's under the 4-inch mark, there is a lot to see in terms of detail. So, why don't we look at that? Look at all of that wondrous detail. I guess since just the eyes are painted, we could talk about how cool the eyes look. The eyes are this yellowish green. They look awesome and are easy to spot, and I think they clash really, really well with the dark navy blue that this figure was casted in. But anyway, details. Look at all of these scales, all of these bumps, all of these grooves. There is absolutely so much to look at with this figure, and it is amazing just how great it looks. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking just looking at this. Bandai, this is a fantastic mold. How come this hasn't been turned into a Bandai vinyl yet? Well, unfortunately, you're going to be asking that throughout the majority of this miniseries because I'm going to be saying the same thing over and over and over again. Can you imagine if this was a 5 to 6 inch tall Bandai vinyl figure? Even if it was just this color, I'd be so fine with that. I especially love the detailing on the dorsal fins. They look more organic than you'd think. I don't know, this actually looks like it's Godzilla's skin. It doesn't look like protrusions or bones or growths or anything like that. It just looks like Godzilla 98 was born a spiky boy. And I love it. Just look at all of that fantastic detail all the way up to the head. I mean, look at that. He's got teeth, a tongue, he's got those weird cheeks, the gills, the iguana throat pouch thing. He's got the pectorals, the crotch, the strong looking thighs, the very, very big feet. I don't remember the feet being that big or that vestigial toe over here being that far out, but it does look rather fantastic and it does help the figure stand, which this figure does have an issue with depending on how you pose the arms. We'll get to that later, and just look at this tail. Beautiful, beautiful. So in terms of detail, I'm obviously going to have to give this a solid star. It is extremely impressive, especially for a figure of its size. And even though I really can't grade paint solely just on paint on the eyes, I really do enjoy the fact that it's this yellowish green and not just orange. So I'll give it a solid star specifically for that. And I guess we could start talking about the minimal articulation this thing has. All right, so the arms can go all the way around like so without falling off. You are going to want to push them back in after you mess about with them, because as you can see, they're kind of sticking out like so. But again, they can hold a pose. They absolutely can, as can the tail. The tail can go all the way around. Now, as I said before, the figure will have an issue standing up depending on how you have the arms posed. As much as I love the arms out, looking like Godzilla 98 is lurching forward, oh, okay, that's the first time that's actually worked, so it will fail the shake test, though, unfortunately. But it seems this lovely lizard boy will stand perfectly fine with his arms at a more neutral pose. Now, I don't know whether to grade this articulation or not, simply because I don't know if it was majorly intended, but when looking at the arms especially, you can see that they're they're pegs and they go into normal holes. Bandai easily could have made this into a square peg into a square hole. So that must mean that the articulation was intended. So I am going to have to give articulation a half a star simply because posing the arms up will cause the figure to fall over, and that's not cool. Though I do appreciate the fact that the arms are articulated, as is the tail. What really could have made this a lot better is if the legs were articulated, but I don't know if we'd get a clean final product like so. So yeah, half a star for Godzilla 1998, but we have one more thing to talk about, and I'm only going to cover it in this video because I've talked about it so many times in my older videos, I really don't feel like even repeating myself now. But it is a history lesson for those who do not know, so you may or may not have already noticed that there is something different about this Godzilla 1998 figure. That different something is only present on 2 other figures in this lineup over here, and I think you can all probably tell what it is. And no, it's not the lacter of color. These 3 figures pictured right here feature the vestigial 5th finger. Now, why is this something to comment on? Well, there's a bit of a history towards it. As we can see here with my copy of the Godzilla 1998 quote-unquote illegal Repton prototype figure, the figure features a 5th finger that really wasn't present in the movie too often. The final CGI model and all the animatronics and puppets, I do believe, only featured 4 fingers, while the suit featured 5. I do believe that's where Trendmasters got all of the reference photos from, so of course they sculpted a 5th finger onto all of their Godzilla 1998 prototypes, and when Toho came a-stompin' to the Trendmasters HQ, they threatened to take the rights away from Trendmasters all over this chody little finger over here. I don't know about you, but that sounds like Toho, alright? And it's not just this figure either. I have a prototype of the baby Godzilla that also has the vestigial 5th finger. This was present on a lot of Trendmasters prototypes, and after all of this happened, Trendmasters went back, cut the finger off, and then gave us our 4-fingered Godzilla 1998.
Oi, I'm back. After millions of years of not being shown on this channel, here I am.
So why in the hell is the vestigial 5th finger included on the Bandai Japan Bandai Hyper Series Godzilla? Why is it included, yet less obvious, on the Godzilla 1998 Bandai Mothra Kaiju Legends figure? Why is it present on the Yutaka Real Heroes Series Godzilla 1998 figure? I honestly do not know, and it might come down to just 2 things. Bandai Japan might have actually sculpted the Godzilla 1998 figures off of reference photos of the Godzilla 1998 suit, or Toho saw the final product and said, okay, just throw the 5th finger on there, we're not happy with this, and we're only going to produce a certain amount of these anyway, so screw it. Which in the end does make them look like a bunch of jerks when it comes to what they did to Trendmasters or were threatening to do. I don't know. I just felt like throwing that in there. If you would like to hear more on that, I'll include videos in the description below and at the end of the video talking about Trendmasters prototypes. Anywhoozer, here he is compared to current day Shokugan figures. Not very big, not very small, not very much in scale, but still a lot of fun. Honestly, despite the lacter of paint on this thing, I really like this figure. I like it a lot, and it really does add to the Godzilla 1998 collection. It is very unfortunate that Bandai never produced a standard vinyl figure for this guy. Personally, especially at this point, I feel Godzilla 1998 more than deserves it and has more than proven himself worthy of a tagged Bandai Movie Monster Series figure. It's been long overdue, Bandai. I think it's about time that we just, stop the stupid 20-year-old prejudices towards the movie and just acknowledge that the design is cool, it's different. Yes, it doesn't wholly look like Godzilla, but it's cool. I like it. And I think a majority of the fan base has gotten over the fact that this doesn't look like Godzilla, but still like the design anyway. And one can only hope that the majority of the fan base have gotten over a 20-plus-year-old movie. But then again, would anybody really be surprised if they didn't? I like this figure. I like it a lot. I like the 2 that I'm going to be talking about after this. Literally, all I need now is a Godzilla 1998 Ultimate Trendmasters Godzilla. That would be insane. One day. One day. But anyway, 2.5 stars, a full recommend. If you can find this for a good price, definitely get it. Especially for you Godzilla 1998 fans who haven't heard of this yet. Definitely a snag, I promise. I am ShinRobjira. This is just part 1 of 3 of my Godzilla 1998 minifigures miniseries, and I will see you all on Wednesday with the next one. And he's pretty dang cool. See you then.